VSiN, the sports betting network.
Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the sports betting network. Mitch Moss, Paulie Howard with you live downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Loaded 3-hour program coming up today. In 30 minutes, Nick Bogdanovich on the program, his weekly spot, Sports Gambling Hall of Famer, longtime Vegas oddsmaker on tonight's card. And maybe some tournament numbers as well that are available now to bet as we're underway now. Will Brinson on the NFL coming up in an hour, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we'll sprinkle in NBA, NFL, college basketball throughout the entire show, Paulie. Right now, as we have another weekend in the books, and the calendar did flip over the weekend, that criteria that over the years has been like rock solid, with the exception of basically 1 year. UConn in 2014 was the outlier. They were not a very good basketball team, and they went on to win the whole thing. Their numbers tell you that it was a fluke that season. Well, almost every other year, Baylor had the number 21 defense when they beat Gonzaga a couple years ago. But other than that, every team essentially has to have a top 20 offense and top 20 defense at Ken Pom to eventually win the national title. We only have 5 teams right now. That's it. And Duke, Auburn, Houston, Florida, and Arizona are the only 5 teams that meet that criteria as we speak.
Mm-hmm. And it might be the Auburn Invitational. That's so impressive what they did Saturday to thump Kentucky. And maybe it's just like UConn Part 2, and it's no problem. And they end up winning it. Dukes, they're good, but it's difficult to get a gauge of, are they Final Four, can they win it all because of the competition? But maybe that's the case as well. And you know how we feel about Houston. We love them. I don't get the Arizona thing at all. That doesn't make any sense, what the numbers are, and to think that this could be a Final Four team or even a Elite Eight after the issues they've had in the tournament.
Sure. Teams that are close to qualifying, top 20 offense / top 20 defense. Tennessee, they're on the outside because their offense is 27th overall. They are the number 1 defensive team in the country. Texas Tech, another impressive win.
Yep.
9th offense, 29th on defense.
I can get there.
You can?
Yes.
Do you have any futures on them at all?
Nope.
Pondering Final Four or something like that?
I think they can do that, yes.
I'm going to throw 2 teams at you with the Final Four numbers here in a minute. Michigan State's getting closer. They're 5th on defense, 32nd on offense. They're not a great shooting team. But again, nice win yesterday over Wisconsin. Bart Torvik has them projected. Now, this is no opinion. It's only numbers-based, right? Projecting the rest of the season, he has them getting a 1 seed. So if they win out, which they only have a couple of games left, and then the Big Ten title game, they're going to, I guess, be in the mix?
Yeah, I don't know about
They're going to have an argument?
Yeah, I don't see that.
Okay.
Could be wrong. We'll see.
Iowa State is close.
Yep.
9th on defense, 21st on offense. And then how about Louisville?
They're on fire.
Yes, they are. Blazing hot. They're top 25 in both offense and defense. They are 22-1 to make the Final Four at FanDuel and at DraftKings. 22-1. It's been a great story. Really, really solid season. Nobody, including us, have really talked about Louisville.
Right. Again, hard to get a gauge, though, because of the schedule.
So I've shopped around, looked at several books. You can give me the Dikembe Mutombo, reject it in my face if you would like. But am I crazy to think that BYU at 25-1 to make the Final Four is a good bet?
I don't like it. I love it.
You love it?
I love this team. Absolutely. It's 6 in a row. 2 of the wins are against West Virginia. They get off to the horrible start Saturday, where they're stuck on like 6 points through 10 minutes. Yep. Then you look up and they blast them and score 50 in the second half.
They are creaming teams.
And look, did you see, is it 7, 8, whatever, what they're catching tomorrow at Iowa State? I mean, I love BYU tomorrow. The run that they're on, they are so good offensively. And how many times do you have a team where their head coach was a top assistant the previous year with the NBA and what BYU has? You are right, they're blowing people out. They've been impressive. They can score. And the bad taste in their mouth for what happened against Duquesne in the tournament, where they were a popular pick and stubbed their toe. So I'm with you on BYU, and I'll even throw VCU at you too.
VCU,
I love this team. Again, it's not only are you winning a lot of games, but are you blowing people out? And that's what they've done, and we touched on it briefly Friday, and then they went out and they did it again. 15 of 16 they've won. Every win except one has been by 8 points or more.
Yeah, killing teams. So again, we tell you this constantly, but you need to shop around. VCU is the perfect example. FanDuel has 36-1 to make the Final Four. DraftKings 60. Wow. To 1 to make the Final Four.
Yeah. The problem is, though, I mean, what happens? Are you getting an at large?
Yeah.
Now, they should be able to go through the A-10 tournament. The second best team is George Mason, and they pounded them as well. But that goes back to hopefully they get in if they don't win the conference tournament. But I think that's a good price.
BYU, back to them for 1 second. They're 12th on offense, so they're going to be able to their defense is an issue. It's 67th overall. And I'm looking at the bracket matrix. So there's 115 different sites or people who do the bracketology. It's the average rank out of all of them. It'll update, I'm sure, maybe a little bit later on today. BYU is currently, the average seed line is an 8. How are they an 8 seed? I mean, if they right? I mean, if they are competitive and it's a close game / win tomorrow on the road against Iowa State,
getting 8.5 at one book. Yep.
Yeah, and if they win a couple, maybe, or it's impressive and they're playing tight games in the Big 12 tournament, they're like a 5.
I know.
There's no way, no how that team should be an 8.
But I'm not going to give you the Mutombo either, based on what we see every March. And NC State last year, and Florida Atlantic the year before that, and San Diego State, and the VCUs and Butlers that we've talked about, the Loyola Chicagos. I can't give you a Mutombo on anything.
So here's the other team I wanted to throw at you. And if you go back to our Friday conversation with Bruce Marshall, who's a longtime college basketball bettor and handicapper, he told you, he told us and the entire audience how impressive Oregon has been in his opinion, right? And Dana Altman, come March, he's put together some pretty good runs. And they were very good by eventually blasting USC again yesterday. They are projected, as of right now, to get a 6 seed. And I think that might be a little bit low, especially if they, win a game or two, or who knows how long the run might go on in the Big Ten tournament. They are as high as 36-1 to win the Big Ten. If they would get like a 4, or if I'm telling you right now, when the regions come out next Selection Sunday for the odds, I cannot imagine a scenario where Oregon's going to be higher than 35-1. I just can't see that happening.
Yeah.
They're pretty solid. They're playing good basketball right now.
Yep. I'm with you on Oregon.
UC San Diego, projected to be a 12 seed. They're top 50 in offense and defense, 80-1 highest number to make the. But you actually might get a better number on them based on the bracket that they get if they make the tournament.
Yeah. They also can't be a 12 seed.
I would totally agree.
We got to fix this. The run that they're on. Have you made any bets? We have odds on 12 conference tournaments.
Well, I know one that I definitely want to bet. I think we're on the same page with this one, too.
Bradley. I took Bradley at plus 340 to win the Missouri Valley. And Drake plays Friday morning as the 1 seed. Bradley just spanked Northern Iowa. They're going to make the case that Drake has the easier path to get to the championship. But Bradley and Drake split during the regular season. They met not that long ago. Bradley won on the road. I don't like how Drake's playing down the stretch. And Bradley, if they face Northern Iowa in the semis, again, just buried them. So I took plus 340 on Bradley for Arch Madness. And Gonzaga is as high as $1.45.
Make it make sense.
I know. St. Mary's goes right through the league, sweeps Gonzaga, lost one conference game by 1 point. Gonzaga is $1.45 to win the West Coast. They have made the title game 27 years in a row. Who's going to break that record? They made the conference title game 27 years in a row.
You got to be kidding.
A 1 or a 2 seed has won it 15 of the last 16.
Wow.
This gets underway later in the week.
I saw the number on St. Mary's as high as plus 150 to win it. I know. What am I missing here?
I don't know. It's just that they think, as always, Gonzaga fans take over, but it doesn't mean, St. Mary's has won it. They're the better team.
I know.
They swept them. I know. That's too much respect for Gonzaga.
Here's what you're going to hear from a lot of people if we get St. Mary's Gonzaga the third time in the West Coast title game. Very difficult to beat a team 3 times in 1 year. Paul, let me tell you, it's sewed, and really it's not. Not that difficult. But that, again, tells you the St. Mary's team has been a machine this year with the regular season sweep over Gonzaga. And this tells you about the power rating for the Zags. And we told you the ultimate,
way off.
The scenario here, though, is what we need to have as bettors, right? We need them to get like an 8 or a 9 seed and then win that opening round game. And they're catching I don't know. Again, I said last week, catching 3 against Alabama?
Yeah.
Or whoever the 1 seed would be. Thank you very much. I'll have to bet against Gonzaga at that point.
Yeah, good job. I was wrong. They took out Santa Clara and San Francisco, no problem on the road. So good job there. But I'm with you that their power rating's been out of whack for 3-4 months.
Yep. So the A-Sun is underway. A good write-up. All these, Adam Burke, Zach Cohen, Jonathan Von Tobel, they're going to have great summaries on VSiN.com for all these tournament conferences. This is from Adam Burke on the A-Sun. Queens, he's looking for a dark horse. They are one of those teams with the provisional period still in hand. So they can win the tournament, but they would not make the NCAA tournament because they just made the leap to Division I recently. So their quarterfinal matchup is against Gulf Coast. That's tonight. They're catching 4.5. Queens has already defeated Lipscomb and North Alabama, the 1 and the 2 seeds here. So, and they played Gulf Coast twice this year, completely polar opposite games. 92-83 was one game. Yep. The other was 60-47.
Yep. I do like the 7 seed tonight, Austin Peay. They take on North Alabama, the 2 seed, the Lions. Both games were close. I think 12.5 is too much.
Yep.
They played last night, and they were great in the second half.
Yeah, and Steve Mackinnon has this as well. Part of his, you got to pay attention to the stuff on VSiN.com. I highly encourage you to read it every single day. Single-digit dogs in the A-Sun are 24-25 straight up, but 32-15-2 ATS since 2014. That's 68%. In this tournament alone, single-digit dogs.
Got to watch it and read it every single day. Yep. Opening day, March 17th, Tokyo, Dodgers, Cubs. Get our betting guide, previews of every team. Jensen Lewis, handicapping pitchers. Cy Young as well. Stat glossary, general baseball betting tips. Cy Young MVP, World Series odds, everything you want. VSiN.com/subscribe. From advanced metrics to sharp betting angles. Get the betting guide, your intro offer, $9.99. Get the VSiN subscription today, VSiN.com/subscribe. Great job, Jensen. Great job, Burke, and everyone who put it together.
So those are your 2 conference bets so far, Bradley, and then also St. Mary's?
Yes.
Yeah, I like Mary's as well.
St. Tommy's is also favored to win the Summit, even though they can't go to the tournament. How about that? Omaha won the league. They're the 4th choice.
Easy. A big name is on the move in the NFL. An updated NFL draft odds after the combine. The odds keep on shrinking for this to happen with the first overall pick, and I'm not talking about Cam Ward. So, Paulie, have you had a chance to read the VSiN Daily yet?
Yeah, came in at 3 a.m. What's Bill doing up that late?
Well, rumor has it, it starts off with a 12-hour meditation session.
Then he just pours himself over film and live TV, really focusing and taking it all in. Bill's in with the biggest insiders, talking trade secrets, strategies, the whole nine, absorbing the info.
And then and only then can the writing process begin.
In Las Vegas, Bill's late night becomes your early morning. Wake up to the very latest betting insights in your inbox with the VSiN Daily. Sign up for free at vsin.com/newsletter.
Responsible sports betting starts with a game plan. That means stick to a budget. Keep it social by playing with friends. Learn the game and know the odds. Play with trusted legal operators. And if you need help, reach out. If you're getting in on the action, visit haveagameplan.org to learn more.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
All right, a lot to get to from the weekend in the National Football League. First of all, a pretty big name is on the move as the San Francisco 49ers traded Deebo Samuel. Not that far removed from like almost winning Offensive Player of the Year and having, I'm not going to say an MVP type season because they don't give it to wide receivers / running backs, but he was so integral to that offense like 2 or 3 years ago. Not exactly the same guy anymore, but for a 5th-round pick, I think it was absolutely worth it for a team like Washington to get involved here. Mm-hmm. Good pickup for the Commanders.
Yes.
So they threw the 3rd most wide receiver screens in the league last year. 17th in yards after the catch per completion, 16th in yards after the catch after contact. Well, this guy comes to mind as somebody who has the ball in his hands a lot around the line of scrimmage, and he's dynamite after contact and in space and after catching the ball with the yak. So I think that with those screens and how often they threw it with Cliff Kingsbury as the OC last year, getting this guy to break off a couple is kind of a really good recipe for that offense.
Good move, great acquisition. As far as the Niners, tough loss, but then again, he's a good player, but he hasn't been able to stay healthy, and then kind of a bad attitude. So yeah, we'll see what the Niners do now and what they look like next year.
What'd you think about that team paying Ayuk all that money last year and now shipping Samuel out? Who would you rather have?
Well, Deebo, but that's certainly with the injury concerns, though. It's so frustrating, right? And he didn't produce till the season was over as well. Going back, like he had a great game against Miami, and where's this been all season, right? So, but I know you're high on Ayuk, and then he gets the cash and then got hurt as well. So I'm excited to see what the Commanders look like, and I think they could be making more moves as well. Yeah. Then you got the big rumors that both New York teams are trying to move up. If it happens, Giants most likely to come in and grab the number 1 pick. How about this now? Tennessee's got to trade the pick. I don't even care if it's a haul. You have so many needs and so many issues that one guy isn't going to fix it.
I mean, if you have a team that's willing to give you the mother load of a package, right? Yeah. You have to take it. You can't even blink at that.
It's a desperate team and desperate organization.
So this is what
makes sense.
Yeah, here's what I was talking about before the break. At DraftKings, tip of the cap to them because they have like 4 markets up already for the NFL draft. They're the only book I've noticed with that. And they've had team to make the first pickup for a while. The Titans, they were almost touching minus $3 to keep the pick. Mm-hmm. It's down to minus 175. That was as of this morning. The Giants are now plus 110 to make the first pick. And looky here, Jets now 3rd on the board at 10-1. They have surpassed teams like the Raiders and the Browns. And that's because of that simple rumor that was out there. I don't know, man. If you're the Giants, I don't think that you have to trade up to get Cam Ward. I think there's an angle here where he might be sitting on the board for you at number 3, and
it's risky though. It's risky though because I wouldn't be surprised if Cleveland takes him.
Oh, you like to gamble once in a while, Paulie?
Yep.
Well, let's say that the Titans go in this scenario. Let's say they go Travis Hunter number 1 overall. Well, there's a pretty clear path here where if the Browns, I know they're steadfast in saying they're going to keep Myles Garrett. What if they don't? And what if they're offered like a huge package and they trade Myles Garrett? Well, then, in theory, they should take Abdul Carter number 2. And the Giants would not have to make a move. Sitting there, it could be Cam Ward.
Right, not bad. The other news is that Sanders is slipping, and this is going to work out for the Raiders.
Right.
That if he'll be there at number 6. And that also ties into why Ward continues to skyrocket and go up first quarterback selected.
And now he is minus $2 for the record. That's first pick in the draft.
But $7 first quarterback selected.
That's right.
When you got back from vacation, I think he was like $1.50.
He was.
So that continues to move. And then your guy, apparently some of the stuff's all over the place, but now some of the dart stuff was nonsense. About maybe late first round, but that I can't see like what was talked about earlier, top 15, even top 10. So the dart stuff probably isn't going to happen.
Yeah, I would say that the prop is going to have to be how many quarterbacks to go in the first round. It's going to have to be 2.5. I'm guessing it's going to be juiced to the under. Dart could slide into the first. That could happen. However, if he doesn't, again, Jalen Milroe is going to go in the first round?
Absolutely not.
Under what scenario does that play out?
Oh, come on.
And the other one would be Quinn Ewers? How?
Right.
They're not first-round picks.
No.
I don't think teams are going to be wasting picks that high on a quarterback of their magnitude.
Mm-hmm.
So,
how about the reports that Genty and Henderson will go earlier than expected?
Yeah.
Well, with Genty, what's that then? Because most mocks have him to Dallas at 12, and so maybe what you said last week could happen. 6, 7.
6, yeah.
Right, 8. Would Genty go that high?
Also,
apparently that could happen.
Could a team actually trade up for him? Would that ever happen? like that high in the first round, because there was a rumor out there that the Broncos would like to get him. Well, they're going to have to trade up if they're going to, in theory. So would they ever do that in the first round to take a running back? That seems a little far-fetched to me. But also some people, and Hampton, don't forget about him from North Carolina. But I saw this under like a quick Google search earlier today. Some are saying it's in the conversation for one of the best running back drafts we've had maybe ever. Like, hold on a second here. That seems like a bit of a stretch, but maybe if they want to go best running back class we've had in several years, I could possibly buy into that. Because for so long we've just, it's been kind of a no-no to take these guys that high. It's happened, a couple times, obviously, Bijan, Gibbs, some others as well. But we've also had years where running backs don't even go into the second round.
Yeah. I think Genty's going to be a hell of a player. I have no problem if you take him top 10. I don't have a problem if you take Henderson top 10, top 15 either. The other thing is, does this mean this looks like Hunter will be there for the Patriots at 4?
Well, possibly. And so the team to draft Travis Hunter, the Giants are plus 275. Patriots are right there with him, plus 275. The Browns are plus 450. Titans 5-1. Jags at that same number.
Or if the trade is between the Giants and Titans, then what do the Titans do? Or could they trade down again? That could happen.
Oh, interesting, yeah.
Well, yeah, right. And remember, didn't the Bears go from 1 all the way down to 9?
Yeah, they did.
So
the phones are really going to be cooking under that scenario, but why not? Acquire as many assets as possible here.
Mm-hmm.
So I did. I told you like last week I was going to be really, really high in the Rams this year. And I finally made the Super Bowl bet. Stafford came back. That was agreed upon. And I was looking around, 30-1, best number I could find.
Oh, you did find it.
So that's
all right. I saw 28. Good.
Yep, that's the team I'm rocking. They're my Lions from last year. Again, the schedule for the Rams, it's very manageable. They have an elite head coach. Stafford came back, which means a ton, obviously, to that offense. The Cooper Kupp thing, I don't think it's going to affect them at all.
No. For
the most part. Really, really good running back. Nakua's awesome as a lead receiver. They have multiple tight ends, and that defense was absolutely sick last year. Again,
quickly, you said it last Friday. You were right. They can't be 30, and the Niners can't be 14.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And I think this was on ESPN today. I was walking over to the studio here, and they had the conversation, are the Rams the second-best team in the NFC? I would say yes. There is a real shot that they're the second-best team in the NFC. You got to give Eagles number 1, and Roseman will probably have another stellar offseason this year for them. But I think there's a chance the Rams are – the Niners 14, Rams 30? Come on, folks. That makes no sense. Certainly they can be better than the Packers. And then the other team would be Detroit. And they were my team this past year. They have unbelievable talent. And my biggest question is going to be, well, two things, actually. The schedule gets absolutely ramped up this year. It's a killer. And they lost both coordinators, which is a huge concern to me.
Mm-hmm.
And meanwhile, the Rams' opponents, they're road opponents. They have Philly and Baltimore on the road this year. Okay, very difficult. Other than that, they play Carolina, Atlanta, and Jacksonville, along with Tennessee on the road. Their home opponents outside the division, the Lions, Texans, Colts, and Buccaneers. Love this team.
Yep.
Had to bet them at 30-1.
Right there with you. Good job. Going to be a scary team.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. I'm with you. I'm also with you in the pecking order in the NFC. I don't think that's crazy to say they're the second best team.
No.
Because we have to take the wait-and-see approach, I think, on Detroit.
I think so. By the way, if it comes down to those two teams, I can just tell you that the last 2 years, the Lions got them, but those were not easy games for the Detroit Lions.
True. Yep, that's right. Time to plan your Vegas getaway. Derek Stevens giving you 15% off at 3 properties, Circa, the D, and Golden Gate, whether you're hanging by the pool or in the sports book. Save big. Promo code VSiN15. CircaLasVegas.com, code VSiN15 to get 15% off your Vegas adventure starts here.
Would you agree that these two quarterbacks, compared to last year's class might be a little bit unfair, but overall, they leave a lot to be desired?
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to figure out just because Cam was so good with Miami. And you could say, well, this is what happens when I have nice pieces around me.
Sure.
You go back to what happened at Washington State, and then there's the talk where, well, if you take a lot of sacks in college, you're going to take a lot of sacks in the NFL. And certainly the leadership and issues with Sanders, too. Circus comes to town, and I can't get over throwing his offensive line and teammates under the bus when they lost to Nebraska.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Now and you pointed this out last week, but that prop is up at DK again. Will the Raiders take both Sanders? It's 20-1 now. And that was 35-1. Sure.
Good bet.
Sure, I can see that.
Yep.
But that's exactly where I'm thinking with Ward and Sanders as well. And for those to say that, neither one of those guys would be even ranked ahead of like the fifth quarterback who went last year, it's pretty strong.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, I probably don't even disagree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Up next, sports gambling Hall of Famer, longtime Vegas odds maker Nick Bogdanovich joins the program. Kansas has disappointed all year long, but they did blow the game at home to Houston earlier this year. Are the desperate Jayhawks worth a look tonight? We'll ask him next here on VSiN.
Sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup. Then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to vsin.com/pro to join VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Welcome back. Good to have you on board. We're live downtown Vegas, Circa Resort and Casino, where our next guest is at almost on a daily basis as longtime Vegas oddsmaker and sports gambling Hall of Famer Nick Bogdanovich joins the program. Good to see you today. How are you?
March Madness, baby.
You feeling it?
Yeah. Who started it off yesterday? Was it Austin Peay, Central Arkansas, and Eastern? That's what officially, the groundbreaker.
Sure.
So.
We got 4 more ASUN games tonight. Action on those games come like this week, the smaller conferences. Do you guys write a lot of that?
Depends on the game, but yeah, we've been, we'll have some good decisions on those games. So people are ready for the tournaments.
Okay. How about you personally tonight? Now at Circa, Houston's up to 10 here against Kansas. They're not, they've disappointed all year long, as I said before the break. It feels to me like they need to be in almost not desperation mode. They're going to make the tournament, but this is a team that they had down by 6 in the final seconds at home, and they completely blew it and lost their minds. Is this too big of a number here tonight?
We opened 10, down to 9, then they laid 9, 9.5. We're back to 10. I think it's an important game for Kansas to go in there and play well. They don't necessarily have to win, but they got to go in there and show they can compete. And I don't know if they can. They're really, really struggling. And if you're a struggling team, the last place you want to be is Houston, Texas, because they just D the hell out of you. So I hope Kansas plays well because we got some Houston liability. So I want to at least see they have a chink in their armor.
Yeah.
But, I could only have Houston tonight. I wouldn't want Kansas.
Biggest dog in 25 years. Think about that.
Yeah.
To think that Kansas is getting double digits.
Earned.
Yeah, the BYU performance, right? Blown out. They've been so bad on the road. Different team at home. But I think the handicap here is also kind of rally around the troops. And in light of the ugliness, they're not fans, they're lunatics. But some of the threats, what happened after the game, and I think that can bring Kansas together as the May kid put some stuff on social media, which was unfortunate. So I think it can kind of bring them together. And I'm not asking them to win. Just hang within double digits here. And I think maybe they can do that tonight, even though it's been so bad on the road.
Yeah, that's what all they got to do is listen, get a little confidence back, start playing well in March. You get one good win and then a favorable matchup. Before you know it, it's old Kansas again. And Self's a hell of a coach. So it can happen. I don't think it will, but it's possible.
Mm-hmm. How about this over the weekend? Kansas and Kentucky lost for the 3rd time at home on the same day since 1976 when Rupp Arena opened up.
Yeah, Auburn took Kentucky behind the woodshed. That was a good game for us. There was a lot of Kentucky money that game. They were taking 5.5, 5, and that's the side I would have had. I ended up passing, but I would have had Kentucky. But man, Auburn got up 10, and they stepped on their neck the whole game. They didn't even get close. So
Broome did not have a good game, and they blew him out.
That's the scary part. Here's the co-leader for National Player of the Year. He goes in, I think, gets 5. And they win for fun. That tells you how deep they are.
Is there a chance that they're UConn of this year? Last year?
Can they win every single game in the tournament by double digits? Obviously, I'd love to make a big bet. No, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Okay. I think we're heading in that direction, though, the way they're playing it, to go right through the SEC like this. I gave you a homework assignment, and based on how well these teams are playing and if they can and make noise in March, where's your power rating on Drake?
It's a little lower than probably most. I don't think they can go very far in the tournament, maybe a game. But it's a hell of a year and a hell of a story. So the type of team I absolutely love to root for. So hopefully they get out of Arch Madness okay, and don't have to rely on a at-large. I think if they get to the tournament final, I think they would get an at-large. But they better not take any chances and go out and 1-0 first or second round.
Okay. Where's Memphis?
Memphis is live.
Another good win yesterday.
Yeah, I got them rated fairly high. I think Memphis can make some noise. They got no fear. That early tournament, you could see they think they can play with anyone, and they're on a roll right now. Very explosive offensively. They're a team that could be real dangerous. I don't think they'll win it. I think they'll have a hiccup at some point. But if you're a big boy, like Auburn or a Houston or a 1 or a 2 seed, I don't think you want to play Memphis.
They're currently on the 7 line.
Yeah.
Teetering on an 8.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to do better than that.
I think so, too.
It's a good resume. They beat Michigan State.
Yeah.
They're going through a good league. Where's UC San Diego?
I love it. Is it the Tritons or the Tritons? Which one is it?
I think the first.
The Tritons.
The Tritons, yeah.
Yeah, no, incredible story. Just became D1 a couple years ago and have been playing just well. And Irvine's been the king of the Big West, but the Tritons smacked them down a week or two ago in Irvine. I got them rated about the same as Drake, so I think they can win a game in the tournament. I'm not sure of 2, but just a hell of a story coming out of San Diego.
They run some really good stuff on offense, too.
Oh, really good. Yeah, I mean, if you've been on them all year long, they've been great against the point spread. How about this last game? They laid 27. They were up 27 like 8 minutes in. I mean, you didn't have to sweat it.
Yep. So it's great to talk to a Hall of Famer, and you've been doing this since 1985. In light of all the news in the last couple months, and it seems like every week there's some Fresno, New Orleans, whatever. How many times during your career, you can only share maybe 1 or 2, but when you were at Binion's, you had huge limits. How many times would your antenna go up or just say, something isn't right here? Because you see the reports where one of these guys who was involved with the Porter in the college, the guy was betting like $100,000 on a Big South game and $70,000 on half times. And
yeah, it's changed quite a bit. I mean, the Fresno story, for instance, I mean, back in the day, we never had a point spread. I mean, point props on players on every single game. So here's a young kid now. You go to the stadiums, they're advertising everywhere, and he sees his name on the app, and 18, 19, 20-year-old kids can make bad decisions. And hopefully he didn't ruin his life by, doing something stupid. I hope that's not the case. But, yeah, our antenna goes off quite a bit. I mean, the Arizona State game the Arizona State scandal was ridiculous because there was 2 or 3 of the same kids came over and over, and they didn't care if they took 10, 9, 8, 7, or 6. So, of course, you didn't have to be the sharpest FBI agent in the world to figure out there was something going on here. And they did it over, it worked the first weekend they came, and then they came back 2 weeks later and just got even more aggressive. So that one was easy to find. The latest ones, there was some first half shenanigans last year where we'd have the first half -6 and the game would be 6. They just bet the first half up from -3, 4, 5, 5.5, didn't care. And of course the first half were covering pretty good. So that smelled a little last year. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's the one good side about legalized gambling is we can help authorities find things out like this, and where in the old days they might go unnoticed.
Yeah. Watchdogs, and it works.
Watchdogs, yeah.
Yeah. How high are you on BYU? We talked about that earlier. They're like 25-1 to make the Final Four.
I like BYU's team. Obviously, one of the strongest home courts in the world. You get them up there in altitude and rabid fans. That's a pretty good combination. So you get them on a neutral court. They're a little more manageable there at that point. So I think BYU can win a game or 2, but no more than that.
No more than that?
That's it.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
I think they win a couple games. I don't wait until next year when they get the number 1 pick.
God,
then they'll.
no kidding.
That'll be interesting.
Okay, so outside of St. Mary's, then who do you recommend? Who do you think someone putting a wager on that could maybe go Elite 8, Sweet 16 then?
Elite 8 or Sweet 16, huh?
Because they have that blackjack draft coming up too, blackjack tournament, then with the draft.
Yeah, they
so
do.
what would you do? We're gonna shoot big. We're not gonna go chalk.
Yeah, well, if I got the one, I'd take Auburn for sure because all year long I thought they're the best team. Right now they're about co-favorites with Duke, but if Auburn played Duke on a neutral side, I'd get broke betting on Auburn.
Oh, is that right?
I'd pick them. Yeah,
Pick them. Yeah, you'd crush it.
I'd get broke.
Yep.
And the way Duke is going, they would break me because I bet against Duke like 6 times this year, and I've ripped my ticket up 6 times. So, I mean,
they're laying huge numbers.
I got to give them credit. I didn't think they were going to be that good. Their 2 best freshmen are a couple 18-year-old kids, and they're just destroying people. Yeah. So we'll see again tonight. I mean, we opened 20.5. The sharp money's for Wake Forest, but
you believe this? This is a bubble team. They're playing.
I know it.
They're playing a bubble team who needs it. They're laying more than 20. This is incredible.
Where are you at with Clemson?
I have a high on Clemson. In fact, I had them so high all year long. I had them 250. No one wanted them. Finally, someone took them. Then we went to 140. Someone took them. But Clemson's Brownell's done a great job there. I know the ACC's down and woefully down, but they've done nothing but perform all year long, and they play hard on the defensive end. So I don't think they have enough talent to get all the way home, but they could get to the Final Four.
In like 10 seconds, Johnny's. You love them? You like them?
Who?
St. John's.
Oh, the Johnnies? Love the Johnnies. They definitely can win it all.
They can win the whole thing.
I think so. 100%.
All right.
I hope you got some 60-1 on them.
I have a little bit on them. Not as much as I wanted to, but a little bit. Thanks, Nick. Great to see you as always.
All right. Enjoy March, fellas.
Yep. Win some, lose some. Up next, two things happened for the first time since the 80s in college basketball.
Don't start betting the baseball season without it. VSiN's Baseball Betting Guide, exclusive to VSiN Pro subscribers. Inside, you'll get everything from tips on how to bet baseball to expert analysis on awards races, futures markets, and a full stats glossary that will help you sharpen your edge. Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to sign up to become a pro subscriber to get this exclusive betting guide, as well as access to everything you need to become part of the Sports Betting Network. last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser!
Paulie Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
All right, not a lot of upsets, but Saturday, Harvard plus 450. Yale came back to win Friday, and then as Stanford Steve said, it wouldn't hurt them to lose a game before the Ivy League tournament, and that's what happened. As a big favorite against Harvard, their first conference loss. Denver 3-1 on the money line. Buffalo plus 250. Georgia wins again 2-1. And Minnesota beats Nebraska plus 270. St. John's wins their first Big East title since 1985. Can't believe it. It's been that long. After the game, Pitino said, we're just getting started.
Good. I hope he's right.
Yep. They're ranked 6th now in the poll. Auburn wins for the first time in Rupp Arena since 1988.
How about that?
There's another one.
And it was really never even a game.
Yep.
And Broom, his odds to win the Wooden Award, it was as high as like minus $3, I think, before the game.
Now, what's going on here? This doesn't make any sense.
He slipped to the dog during the game. And then Flagg got hurt, the eye, played 19 minutes, didn't do much.
Now he's like $1.70, $1.50
He's favorite again.
I don't get it.
I took... So I removed all the stress from my life with this award. I have Broom at plus 550, talked about it on the air, added more at plus 160. I came back during his bad performance and I said, I'm not going to rely on the voters. And I tweeted this out. I took some Flagg at plus money. Now I'm just going to, don't even care.
Yep. All right. Sounds good. 76ers money line plus 270. How about that? Grimes goes for 40 plus in the win.
That one got me good. I kept betting the Warriors live in play to come back and win the game.
Well, no Butler was big there. Yep. That hurt. Pistons from 9.5 up to 12.5. No problem. Spurs from 11 down to 5 beat Memphis outright. No jaw in that game. Sunday, the Celtics from 2.5 up to 5.5. When are you going to see a game where the opponent takes more threes than the Celtics? Also, I believe Denver is the fewest amount of points from 3 in the league.
They shoot the fewest.
Yeah.
And Boston shoots the most.
Yep. They also are 11. They lost that game, but they won the previous game. They're 11-1 on back-to-back straight up. Yep. Something to keep in mind with the Nuggets. UFC, Patterson, knockout 10-1 to win in round 1, 8-1. Cape round 3, 11-1. Hockey, goal in the first 10 at home. The Wild, 9-1. Stars, 7-1 run. In road games, the Maple Leafs, 17-4. Overall, goal in the first 10. Stars, 18-3 run. Maple Leafs, 26-5. Like them again tonight. Blues, 20-5. First period overs. Capitals, 8 of 9. Edmonton, 14 of 17. The Oscars. Now, Madison Girl, small upset. Best actress, plus 170. Honora, pretty much won everything. One Dog film editing was 2-1.
Other than that, it was all favorites?
Yep, that's right. And golf, Highsmith, 200-1, as high as 1,000-1 after Friday. Yes. And we know someone who had him. And we'll try to get him on later in the week.
They had a healthy bet on him.
I can't believe that.
1,000-1.
I know. Subscribe, be part of the team, VSiN.com. Our radio and podcast friends, you always want to see these tweets and videos at Paulie Does Vegas on Instagram. Send it in. We'll put you on, just like Peter. Again, shout out New Hampshire. I showed you the huge $30,000 hit that he had. How about this one now? He had a big one. If you guys can show the screen, he had a 50-cent Royal. Remember, 50-cent Royal's $2,000. But he hit one for 10, I think it was $14,000. And then here's the other one here. He hit a Joker Poker. He hit a 5 of a kind, which paid like $12,000 on a 50-cent. So I said, why is it so high, right? Because I've never seen anything like this. And I've lived in Nevada for 25 years in Las Vegas. Peter says it's because of the charity deal in New Hampshire. Something to do with the parimutuel racing that takes place in the casino. It's tied into the progressives. So when you look at the screen and see his big jackpot hits, again, like $1 Royal's $4,000. This paid $30,000. At the bottom, it says extra win pay on it. And that was his explanation about why the progressives are so high. Again, it's a 50-cent Joker Poker progressive. It's a 5 of a kind, $12,000. It's a 50-cent Royal. You know what that pays, $12,000. The $1 Royal, $30,000. Incredible stuff. And then Joel sent this in. We've been asking for your biggest hits in light of what Mitch did last week. Royale with cheese dealt 5 play, 25 cents, $16,000. There's a 4, there's a 3, I think there's a 7.
There's a 7 up top.
Yep, add it up. He walks away with 16,000. Deuces, too, dealt on the diamonds. And look at this guy could play linebacker for the Raiders. How about the Bullies? Look at the guy on the left. Look at this guy, Mitch, how he's built. He's an ice cube, right?
Oh, he'd pin me in 15 seconds.
Yeah. Saying hi to his brother, the other guy. The other guy's like an alligator. So low to the ground. Got that how they're built. But look at this. This guy's a truck. How these bullies are built. Incredible.
Looks like he's on steroids.
Yeah, he does, right? He would take you out, no problem. Absolutely.
Pull a John Cena.
Yeah. A heel. For the second straight game, shenanigans with the Clippers and Lakers. Luka and LeBron. Game time decision, maybe doubtful. Oh, they both play. Game time. So it goes from +2 to -5.5, back down to 2, pick them in that range.
Could you believe that
and the
on
Lakers
Friday?
get it. How do you go from doubtful to, they're going to play back-to-back nights?
That was absolutely sick what took place in the NBA on Friday.
And
that,
Sunday.
Yeah, but the one on
right.
Friday was absolutely absurd what went on with that game.
Yes.
Come on, guys.
Clippers got to 5.5.
Both guys. We thought on the show that Luka was definitely going to be out.
Yep.
Trending towards LeBron, probably not going to play. Oh, and they're both in the game.
Yeah. Lose some. Let's go to the basketball game. How about this? Thanks to the viewer who sent this in. Guys at the basketball game hanging on the railing. Let's go barefoot. Yeah, I'm at a basketball game. Why not go barefoot? I just feel like, let me take your shoes and socks off at a college basketball game. Incredible. Several bad beats. Friday, the Raptors, pick 'em. Up 14 in the fourth. Up 4 with 6 seconds. Lost by 10 in overtime to the Bulls.
Oh, yes.
4-point play. Epic collapse down the stretch. Capped out by the 4-point play. Losing overtime.
That's one of the worst beats in the NBA the entire year.
Got it, yeah. Late Blazers 4-1 on the money line. Up 10 in the fourth quarter. Lose at Cleveland. Heat 2-1 on the money line. They led the Knicks by 19. They were as high as 1,500 in play with 5 minutes left. Brunson took over. Bama +150. Up 4 with... How'd they lose that game? Up 4 with 30 seconds.
Almost impossible to lose it like that.
If I'm the coach, just these meltdowns, we'll get to it later. Come on. Don't foul, please. Will you stop? Don't foul the guy. If they score, they score. So Bama's up 4. The kid misses one of the free throws. Tennessee comes down. Guy goes to the basket. No big deal, but you foul. And 1. Then he misses the free throw. Then they foul on the putback, and then they get the stop, and the kid hits the shot from the parking lot to win it. Missouri State 9-1 on the money line at Drake, led by 5 with 4 minutes left, and they go down. Juice Reel, bringing real transparency to the picks marketplace. No fake records, no hiding bets. Everyone on Juice Reel syncs their betting accounts, imported their betting history directly from the books. It ranks every bettor based on their actual betting record. Sharp bettors even get paid when others follow their picks. You got a tail proven. Verified winners on Juice Reel. Free in the App Store. Download it today. REEL Juice Reel. Get it today.
A couple of other things in the NFL. The Bengals tagged wide receiver T. Higgins, so they're going to run it back with him. Probably a good move there. Offense is going to be a machine next season. And Jimmy Johnson is calling it quits from working on Fox Sports.
Gary Bradshaw right behind him?
I'll give you one guess.
Oh, no.
No. How long do you think Jimmy Johnson has been part of the coverage on Fox Sports? I read this sentence like 3 times. I'm like, there's no way.
18 years?
31 years.
What? He's been on that show 31 years?
31 years part of the Fox Sports coverage.
Oh, man.
31 years? That's impossible. How?
I'm stunned by that.
So he was canned.
They kept running it back every year.
By Jerry Jones in 93, 94-ish? And he's had that job ever since? It doesn't seem possible.
Well, no, went to Miami Dolphins.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how has he done it for 31 years?
Are they counting once his team was eliminated from
playoffs?
playoffs?
Then he'd be a part of it as well? Then
Jump in and join the crew?
Must be.
They just need a whole fresh start with that.
Oh, 100%.
No Howie, no Terry, no Kurt, no Gronk. Let's get a whole new look in there.
Well, Gronk might be playing next year in the NFL.
That could be, too.
If you can believe that rumor.
Yeah.
And then because he worked with Sean Payton at Fox, the connection is there, and you want to come back and play with him and Bo Nix? Does Gronk come right back into the NFL and turn into like a top 5 tight end? That seems really tough to do.
I would think red zone option, a lot of touchdowns isn't it?
Just throw it up to him and he's going to go and get it like always?
Takes care of himself, yeah. He's in shape. I wouldn't hate that.
Mm-hmm.
Be good.
We did. We talked about that earlier. NFC odds, the pecking order. We left off Washington. They're right there with some of those other teams that we talked about, too. I mean, making it that far year one under Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury. And, with their rookie there, Jane Daniels.
Yeah, I know. There will be the regression camp, though. And you saw what happened to Stroud. There'll be that camp over there.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe he takes a step back, but I love the coaching staff.
You have to. We'll talk NFL, more of it with Will Brinson up next from CBS Sports. Cam Ward now minus $2 to be drafted first overall. Who else should we be looking at to make a bet in that market? We'll ask him coming up next.
And we're out.
Okay, give me 1 sec. I need to load funds into my gaming apps.
Storm.